Welcome to our flannel family forum this evening. I thought we'd do it by the chicken coop. I hope that's okay. We're over here by our egg mobile. I've got a couple of broody hens, but that's okay. I actually might separate them and see if they will lay some eggs for me. We're doing it on Monday because I worked on Sunday. And I had thought about doing it on Saturday, but to be honest, I was just too tired. It was Friday was a tough day on the old job, so for our tea this evening, we have a smooth echinacea and a little bit of local honey. Had some watery eyes, I think, due to some allergies, so we are doing local honey tonight. It's supposed to help. Makes me feel better. Honey gives you a boost of energy. We are doing it a little earlier tonight than we normally do. I hope that doesn't mess anybody up too badly. My sister and her significant other were here earlier today, so we had a nice visit with them. We ended up having a bit of a late lunch, so dinner is going to run a little later tonight. So I thought, well, before the sun goes down too much, we would have our live stream and have a chat. So there was a gentleman who had seen the stump grinding videos and had some questions about our business and how we are doing and what we're doing and all that. And he asked if I thought about making a detailed or in-depth video on the business. And quite honestly, I'm just not clever enough to sit down and think of everything I need to think of for stump grinding and what and who and how. So I thought I would go ahead and just talk to you guys tonight a little bit about it. That way it's kind of on record. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. He might show up, he might not. But at least that way I'll be true to my word because I told him I'd do it. Hey, Joe. Joe says, hey, Brian, hope you had a great Easter. Greetings to Mrs. Flannel Fam and your chipalets, the kiddos. Thank you, Joe. It's good to see you this evening, sir. We had a lovely Easter. Yeah, I had a good Easter. I'm working the next 2 Sundays, so we'll try and do them on Saturday. Like I said, Friday was a bit of a tough day at work. We had a code blue cardiac arrest, and it was a young lady, married lady, in her 30s, with a small child, and she didn't make it. Can't go into too many details, but there's a family out there missing their mother, so if you think about it, pray for them. God knows who they are, and we'll direct your prayers accordingly. But that was a rough Friday. So Saturday when I got home, the fine gentleman who sold me the cows came over, and he had lanced a boil on one of the cows' necks previous to selling it to me, and had stitched up. He had stitched up the lanced area, the boil. So he came over to help us pull the stitches out, and so I got to jump into the cattle panel and wrangle them cows down to the ground, and we put a harness on them, and they were very well behaved. We got the stitches out, no problem. So the cows are healthy. We have taken down the walls, and they are loose in the field, staying behind the wire. They've been out for 2 full days now, and are quite content munching on oats and just loving life. They're still so little that when they lay down, they actually disappear behind the grass. So you can't even see them, and then you'll just see 2 little ears pop up, and they'll mew at you. They're not acting skittish, but they're not acting terribly friendly either. So, but it is so cool to see them out there just enjoying the field that we planted. And this tea is good. So, stump grinding. First, let me say that it is a part-time thing. The stump grinding, it is not a full-time job. I'm not trying to make it a full-time job. It's kind of something we've added to our wheelhouse, if you will. he had asked a couple questions. One of them was, how did we settle on purchasing the Dosco 691E? And YouTube actually is a big reason that I purchased it. When we were looking into doing stump grinding, I watched a whole bunch of videos. And there's a guy out west somewhere, Mustang something or other. I can't remember his name now, but he has a stump grinding business. He's also an ex-firefighter. And so I watched a whole bunch of his videos. Now he's got a Vermeer, pretty heavy duty job, but he's been grinding stumps for 20 years. So what I was looking for was a machine that was big enough to grind stumps of all sizes, but small enough that it wouldn't cost me a fortune. And in terms of being lucrative, that machine is brilliant. It's well, it was, bought it last year, right at $9,500. The one we bought was $8,500 because Dosco machinery actually doesn't come in orange; it comes in gray. Their color is gray, like DeWalt is yellow and Milwaukee's red and all that stuff. But somebody had ordered like 5 orange machines. It was probably for a rental place, and then they never picked them up. So we got actually the machine for $8,500. We bought a Still 462 32-inch bar to take down stumps. That was about $1,000. And then you can pull that rig with a small landscape trailer that I think you could probably find used or even new for $1,000 to $1,200. So if you have something to pull it with, if you look at the trailer, the saw, and the stump grinder, you're looking at $12,000 to start the business. Business cards, aren't very expensive, and we put vinyl letters on our cars, which was not very expensive. So it's not, in terms of startup costs for a business, it's pretty inexpensive. And we have rolled over about 42 hours on the machine, and I think we've done roughly $7,000 worth of business with it. So I would encourage you, when it comes to pricing, to aim for $125 to $175 an hour that the machine is running. So price accordingly. We tend to charge about $5 an inch from where you want it ground. And just keep in mind, when you're measuring where you want it ground, you measure across the farthest point, and then you don't just measure the cut part of the stump, because it goes under the ground at an angle, and there might be roots going. So you measure all the way to where the person wants ground, and you charge $5 an inch. It's $150 for us to drop the machine. Now that doesn't mean we charge $150 for it plus whatever that is. That means that covers up to 30 inches of stump. So then you start charging after that. So even if you have a stump this big, it's not worth driving out to somebody's place and loading and unloading and doing all that stuff for anything less than $150. Because you have to account for all your windshield time and things like that. So what we started doing to gin up business was, besides passing out business cards to everybody I know, is we chased down a couple tree companies. Now, I haven't done as much of that as I had planned on, because we ended up buying the farm, and my whole focus kind of shifted towards setting this place up. But what you do with land, like tree companies, a lot of tree companies don't grind stumps. So if you go to the tree company and say, hey, look, I charge $5 an inch. However, I will charge you $4 an inch if you sell the job at $5 an inch. So in other words, the tree company comes in, cuts the tree down, they measure it and tell them, if you want your stumps ground, it's X amount of dollars. Well, this tree company gets to keep $1 an inch. Does that make sense? So that's their cut, if you will, bird dog fee, whatever. So you get paid $4 an inch to do it for the tree company. Same with contractors, realtors, anything like that. You cut them kind of a bulk rate because they're going to give you more work. I think this Dosco is a great machine. One of the reasons we bought it is because it's got a 20 horsepower Honda motor on it, and Hondas are notoriously reliable in all shapes and sizes, but their small motors are jam up. They are amazing. So that's why we picked that machine in particular. It's a hydrostatic, so it's self-propelled, but you have to work it yourself. So it takes a lot of manpower. Now, you're not going to go through and blow through a stump, in 10 minutes if it's a bigger stump. It's going to take you half an hour, 45 minutes to go through a decent sized stump, but it will do it. You just have to know how to work the machine. One We did that instead of investing 15, 18, $20,000 into a machine that had hydraulics and things like that. If you're looking to get a very good stump grinder, diesel, you know, self-propelled, hydro, remote controlled, things like that, you're talking upwards of $25,000 to $30,000. And our thought was, man, these roosters is fighting tonight. Hey, mom, how are you? So our thought was to prove the concept first with the smaller machine. To if it was worth it, if it made money, then eventually we would invest in a larger machine. I've been told you should have two machines because if one goes down, you have another one. But I think that's only if you're really looking at doing it full time, which I'm not. I think this type of gig works really well for people who are already doing stuff. So if you're a handyman kind of guy, if you own a landscape company, you're already out there doing things for people. So you can throw that machine on the back of your trailer that you probably already have and go make some extra money, 100, $200, not $200, but 100 to 175 an hour. So, mom says she's amazed at us and Mrs. Flannel. I don't know what's so amazing. We're just trying to do some work. So the cool thing about it is like right now it's sitting in my trailer, and on Saturday I have a job. I think we're doing somewhere around like 12 or 13 stumps to different people's houses, but they're right next door. So it's going to be $1,000 to $1,300 day, and I'll be grinding the whole day. So the hope is to eventually have a bunch of those jobs lined up out there. So the Dosco is a good value for the price, and it's not going to bury you. I'm actually at 40 hours. We're replacing the teeth now, so I've got those. I'm going to do a quick video on how to replace the teeth on a Dosco, but it wore out. In about 40 hours, it wore out all 8 teeth. And they were about $90 a head. So, but actually, let's talk revenue streams for a minute. You should be anti-fragile. And anti-fragile is diversifying. And of course, normally when we think of diversifying, you think of stocks and bonds and, gold and your 401k and mutual funds and all these things. But in reality, anti-fragile is much more different revenue streams. So we currently have somewhere around 5 or 6 different revenue streams. Only 2 really are like rivers, and the rest are like trickles. But it makes you less fragile. So if I lost my job at the fire department, I would be like chasing work down with the stump grinder like crazy. I think there's a lot more work out there than I'm currently doing. I haven't been chasing down tree companies like I had planned. I haven't been like, banging down doors. Canvassing neighborhoods is another good way. You load up your machine and you go knock on doors on a Saturday and say, hey, I'm out here grinding stumps and I'll give you a discount because I'm right here if you take this job now. That's a great way to drum up business. But let's talk about revenue streams. So I have my day job in the fire department, and that's our main source of income. My wife works about 5 hours a week, so that's a secondary source of income. We have a rental property, which is a huge source of income when they pay. So those are our 3 primary sources of income. But then I also have the stump grinding business, which is our 4th source of revenue. And now we have YouTube, which is our 5th source of revenue. And then I have a retirement with the fire department. And actually now we do sell eggs from the property, and there is the possibility of doing hog shares and chicken shares with some people in the fire department. So that's 7 different sources of revenue. So if any one thing falls off the face of the earth, there are other things that are already going that we could upgrade if needed and do more work with. So being anti-fragile is a good thing. Figure out different ways to have sources of income that are outside of your main job, and that will be useful. Now as we all know, I don't know if a recession's coming or if it's here. They don't declare recession till it's been going on for like 2 quarters. But as you guys know, inflation is madness right now. Gas is obscene. I think I spent almost $800 last month just in fuel. So these pinches are going to start putting a damper on things like stump grinding and different jobs that are not, boy, they are noisy. Putting a damper on discretionary type spending things. Stump grinding is a discretionary spending. So, and the bugs are flying. Man, it's spring, guys. It is spring, and it is gorgeous. So, did you guys see the short that we did with our cute little chicks that were hatching? I have some bad news. My cat decided that the way we have been doing things was not good for them. So I have kept chicks inside, underneath wire, in a, tote, probably 5 or 6 times since we got here. Never had an issue. I woke up the other day on the way to work, and all of the baby chicks, we had 5 that hatched, were dead, and 1 was almost completely eaten. And my cat looked very satisfied with himself. Oh, it's gut-wrenching. So I chucked the cat outside, and yeah, I felt so bad. It was a little baby chick massacre. But that's what cats do. They eat birds. So we've had a chick eating our eggs, and we discovered which one it is. So if you'll notice, there's a random chicken outside the wire over there. That's the one that's been eating the eggs. So she is now an expat. She's been kicked out of the nest. And she is on her own. In terms of some behind the scenes talk with the channel, a couple of our shorts have really taken off and gotten over 2,000 views each. So that's cool. We've had a couple new subscribers join from that little venture. That was very cool. And yeah, it was surprising. We had something like 3,500 views in the past 48 hours, which has never happened before. So that was interesting. So we'll probably do a few more shorts here and there just for fun, because it seems to be working. Oh, if Karma Happy Toes is watching, or if you watched later. If you guys remember Ricky the Tabby, the one we did the kind of memorial for, he had sent us via Karma Happy Toes some seeds and plants, and she mailed us some banana plants, banana trees. So they have arrived. We got those in the mail, so they're going to be going in here shortly. Our gardens are exploding. The corn has popped through. The potatoes are doing well. The beans are doing well. The cucumbers are doing well. Tomatoes are doing well. It's amazing. The gardens are super green. I'm going to get some of that on film for you guys so we have the different stages of the garden, because you all saw us working on the disking and the planting and all that stuff, so we'll get those up. We let's see what's coming up this week. My truck is back. I can't remember if it was back last week or not, but we got the truck back. Very minor issue. Basically got too low on oil, so now it's back up and running. Yay! Lucy, our 1953 Ford Jubilee, when my sister and her significant other were here. I went out to fire up Lucy so that he could go for a ride on it, and she did not want to start. And it turns out I left basically the battery in the on position, so it killed the battery so badly that I couldn't charge it, so I had to go buy a new battery. So we bought a new battery, and then so the older tractors are kind of tuned for like cold weather or warm weather. And Lucy sat so long in the cold weather that I had been running it, I think the last time I ran it was in the snow when we did that hour-long Work With Me video. And so I had adjusted the throttle and the carburetor accordingly. So when I went to fire it up this time, it would not stay running. So I actually had to take the carburetor off, spray it all out, clean it up, put it back on, and then kind of start all over from scratch with the fuel pressure coming out of the tank and the bulb, and then the little jets on the carburetor. But the thing I love about those old tractors is I literally fixed it. Hey, how to garden? How are you, sir? You can literally fix it with like a screwdriver and a pair of pliers. So that's what I did. Cleaned it all out, filled it full of fuel, and now Lucy's running like a dream, purring like a kitten. And this is important because when we harvest both pigs, I need both tractors. So as you guys have seen the swing that the kids, swing on the back, that's actually a crane. So my hope is to, when the two families come, on the 13th and 14th is our dual pig harvesting weekend. That is going to be filmed. I'm going to show you guys probably more in depth than we did last time, maybe a little bit more graphic. But I think it's really cool because these two families are coming out and we're going to do a community style. So, oh, by the way, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. It helps other people find us and such. Apparently that one short jumping off caused other shorts to jump off. So shorts that have been out for like a month or two are starting to take off as well. It's really cool. It's fun to see that happen. Man, they're clucking. So my hope is to go dispatch a pig, hook it to the tractor, drive it out back to the barn where I'm currently in the process of digging a pit for our new scalding tank. I'm trying to, it's a big like 300 gallon old oil tank that they used to use for like the house heating. So I'm going to cut it down, the mount that it sits on, and then lower that into a ditch that I'm digging. So that way it's not unstable high. Also, my crane and my bucket, when you add a pig to it, the pigs are 5.5, maybe 6 feet long. And my bucket doesn't go all that high. So I'm going to have to like get the pig in there without knocking it over. So if I can lower that tank into the ground but still have a place to make a fire, then I can use the tractor. Anyways, we're going to put the crane on the back of Lucy, and then we're going to use the bucket on Hank so that we can do 2 pigs at once. So I'm going to go dispatch a pig, stun, stick, drive back, scald, and then set one family to scraping, get the other tractor, go over there, stun, stick, bring back, scald, and then get the next family to scraping, and hopefully, hey Marilyn, how are you? After that, then we can, if the one pig is done, then we can eviscerate, and then eviscerate the second, like work kind of like that. There's one family per pig, so we just want to make sure we get that done. So my hope is that I can be doing one so they can mirror kind of the actions. Then we'll chill them, and the next day will be butchering. So we're trying to get all that wrapped up because we only have a couple weeks before all that's going to happen. And they're camping here overnight. It's going to be so much fun having the two families camp. So they're going to get out here as early as they can on Friday. We'll do the dispatching, cook over a fire, you know, hot dogs, hamburgers, all that good stuff. And then they will go home with fresh produce. Uh-oh. Marilyn says, hello, watching tornadoes all around me in Oklahoma and north, keeping an ear out. Be safe. That's the country for it out there. Holy cow. My equipment trailer, we're going to put sides on it tomorrow, and then I'm going to go get dirt. We've cleared out that area from the last video I think you saw for the kids' play area. It's pretty well level. I've never graded anything before, so it's close. My farmer friend has got a bunch of sand on his property from a hill. He's got nice clean sand. So he's going to give us some sand so I don't have to buy any. And so I'm going to put sides on our trailer, take it over to him, have him load it up for us, and then drive it back. Level out that area. This 4-day, I'm on 4-day break, by the way. For those of you that don't know how the fire department works, at least our department is different everywhere, but I'm 1 day on for 24 hours, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 4 days off in a row. So this is the first day of my 4-day break. So I'm off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So today was visiting with family, chatting with you guys, fixing Lucy, a couple of little pitter-patter things here and there. Nothing major on the homestead. Tomorrow I'm going to build the sides on the trailer. I'm hoping to get some sand to get it dumped. We'll probably move the chickens. They've pretty well cleared out that area behind us. It's super stripped. So we're just going to move them that way a little bit, nice and easy. Bring sand out, level the kids' play area the rest of the way, and then potentially bring out the pool and put it together and fill it. We've not filled it yet. It's a brand new above ground pool. Give the kids something fun. While I do feel like there's some hard times coming and such, there's a balance to be had between, you know, stocking up all your beans, bullets, and burritos, blue jeans, and letting your kids have a childhood. So we're trying to maintain that balance. We bought that pool back in January, and it was like $500 or something, significantly cheaper than they are now in the store if you can find them. I'm going to build a um, essentially cost-free pool heater. I'll show you guys that. It takes a sump pump and a little bit of copper and a trash can. But other than that, you just heat it with wood and water. But I don't want to give too much away on that because it's going to be in a video and it's going to be super fun. So that's the hope for tomorrow, is to get that leveled out and maybe the pool up. Chickens moved. I think the birds and the bees are happening in the background. I'm going to get banned from YouTube. Oh, Peppercorn doesn't like it. He's chasing around Joey. My goodness. That's the hope for tomorrow. If it doesn't all happen tomorrow, then it will definitely be done, hopefully by Wednesday. Part of it depends on when my farmer buddy's able to break away. And yes, Peaceful Acre, good call. So stock up on your pool chems. Actually, I bought a huge thing of chlorine last year before we moved, and then the pool ended up not making the transition with us. So I have seen that Amazon still has some chlorine and such, so we'll try and get that here. But yes, thank you for reminding me. So part of this depends on when he is able to bring his tractor over to his sand pit area and kind of fill it up, because he's in like hardcore farming mode. So we'll see. I don't really have anything else on the docket other than getting that pool area in, getting the scalder in. Oh, I forgot. We're going to plant grass seed over in that area for the kids' trampoline area. And then we have a bunch of grass to plant out where the cows are. And I have the other paddock. I'm calling it a paddock. It's really paddock might be the too small. Paddock's typically smaller, but the other fenced-in area for the pit or the cows out there. I have all the materials for it. The posts are in the ground. I just need to actually put that up, and then I'm going to move the cattle training area out of the pasture, pull those T-posts out, and move it back toward where the pig pen is. And then we're going to go get feeder pigs. Probably not this 4-day, but in the next couple weeks, we're going to go get another 4 or 5 feeder pigs and put them out. So kind of a side note, How to Garden and his channel is doing a challenge for homesteaders to plant 3 fruit trees this year and film it and kind of post it, and I think tag him or in it as the challenge. We actually planted a whole mess load of trees in the fall of last year, so I'm not planting any this spring, but I'm planning on planting more this fall when they go back on sale. So if that's something you're interested in, How to Garden is here in the chat, and you can see his channel and what he's doing over there. And like I said, I think our video was from last year with the expanding the homestead or expanding the capabilities or something. But we have one from last year. But this fall when we plant more, we're going to film it, and we'll tag you in it, buddy. And so if that's a challenge you're interested in being a part of, he's trying to see how many different people he can get to do it. Even if you don't have a channel, if you want to plant 3 and hit him up, it'd be kind of cool if he could say on one of his videos, like, hey, 30 people planted trees, and that's cool. Plant early, plant often. Video drops at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, the challenge video where you're talking about it, sweet. I will do my best. I'm typically almost asleep by then. So if I don't catch it today, man, I'll catch it tomorrow. This 4-day is kind of actually a break for us. It's a lot less frantic than the other ones have been, because we've had cows coming and pigs to harvest and big massive things planned for the 4-day breaks. And I don't have any big massive things planned. I have things that need to get done. But if as long as that pit gets in the ground with the scalder, the tractor's running, I mean, I'm pretty well set for that day. I have to replace the teeth. I forgot about that. I got to replace the teeth on the Dosco. Um, it's at about 40 hours. Teeth for the Dosco, by the way, if you buy I think they're green teeth, 700 series is about $90 for the 8 teeth that go on the machine, and it lasts about 40 hours. So, I mean, I'm assuming you don't hit a brick or a piece of metal, but they're a very good value. So buy the name brand green teeth. Don't buy the knockoffs that they have on Amazon, because it's not the high quality carbide steel, so they won't last. But it's funny, Mrs. Flannel and I were talking about how much we were just kind of looking forward to this break from my regular job, because the kind of crunch is over. So, Mama Lou Bear, hello, welcome, good to see you. We have a lot of garden work to do, lots and lots of weeding to do, and we have some trellises to build and some things like that. But things are in the ground. They didn't die with the frost or the almost frost. The truck is back and running. The tractors are running. Everything is kind of clicking along. So this 4-day, we're kind of just looking forward to puttering around the homestead without it feeling like if we don't get this stuff done, it's going to be madness. Turkeys are getting big. They're almost probably another 3 weeks away from being able to be put out behind netting. So we're excited about that. The incubator. So maybe you saw the eggs hatch. Those poor things got eaten by my cat, which has never happened before. Even we didn't do anything different. It's never happened before. So it's kind of a big pain in the neck waste. But we have pulled 21 eggs. That's okay, Marilyn. Be safe. Marilyn says, sorry, I'm going to have to go. My internet's messing up. Yeah, those storms will trash your internet. Be safe. Get low. For those of you that didn't see, Marilyn has like tornado watches all around her out in Oklahoma. So, we put 21 fertilized eggs. We think they're fertilized into our incubator. So in 3 weeks, we're hoping that works. It says it's only designed for like 11. But it's only designed for 11 if you use the automatic doodad in it that rotates the eggs for you. And Mrs. Flannel Farms is fastidious in rotating eggs, so I'm not that concerned. So we're hoping to get those guys out, see if it works with all 21, and start repopulating the flocks. We've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 or 10 of the layer birds since we moved here. We still have, I don't know, 25, 30, something like that. So our hope is to go ahead and put, well, half the eggs we hatch are going to be roosters. So we're hoping for 10 to 12 hens to put out there to kind of repopulate that. We're probably going to lose more as the season goes on. It's part of it. Nature finds a way. So we're hoping by the time fall gets here and all the layers start to slow down, that those birds will have just started to lay, so that we should have more going through the winter. So that's kind of our plan for the upcoming week. That's kind of what's been happening in the past week. I don't really have much else for you this evening. It's been a good week. Busy week. But it's always busy, and busy is helpful. Yeah, How to Garden says everything eats chicken. Tastes just like chicken. It's so good. I will tell you that it has been amazing having our own pork to eat on like a consistent basis out of the freezer. We've eaten it, I think, every day. And having our own eggs and our own sausages and that kind of thing. And we're going to have our own vegetables here pretty soon. So we should be able to start cutting back on our grocery bill by a lot in the next month or two, which is great because holy cow, the groceries are getting insane. But I have felt better. I've felt like I've had more energy. I don't feel like I need to eat as much when it's our food. Even snacking at night, you eat dinner at 6:30 o'clock, 6:30 o'clock, 6:30 p.m., 6:30, 7, something like that, and by 9:30 you're hungry again. I haven't really had that happen when we've eaten our own food. So, and I haven't felt like I had to get stuffed on it. It's just good meat. So Peaceful Acre says, you're in VA, you have to make scrapple. I'm going to pass on that. I've had scrapple. Now, Spam is delicious. I love Spam. It is so, fried up a little bit with some eggs. It's so salty and delicious. But I can't do scrapple. I tried. There are people at the fire station that will eat just about anything, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The bacon that we made, which I guess is technically not bacon because it's not smoked, but we made a salt. It's pork belly when it's not smoked, really. But for the sake of ease of use, I'm going to call it bacon. We made a brown sugar. We made a salt and pepper, and then we made like a straight salt. And we've tried all of them, and they have been so good. We've been having BLTs for lunches, and you cut them, I mean, probably a 1/4 inch thick, a 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch, and throw it in the oven at 400 degrees, pull them out, and it's just slabs of bacon on your BLT. My sister's significant other apparently had never had a BLT, and so it was his very first one. Can you imagine never having a BLT in your whole life? So his first BLT ever was our homemade bacon. It was so good. Man. Peaceful Acre says homemade scrapple is so good. It might be. I mean, I'm not opposed at some point to trying it homemade style and making it, but I don't even know how to make it or what the parts are made out of or what. So I would have to do a little research. There's a bunch of things I want to do as we get better at the basics. So right now we're just trying to get the basics done and learnt. Trying to learn some basics. So dispatching, scalding, harvesting, grinding, packaging, storing, that's where I'm at right now. By the time I get 4 or 5 pigs under my belt, then maybe we'll start messing around with different types of smoking or scrapples or long-term curing of hams or what. So there's so many more things that we have to do and learn. But right now we're just excited to have the opportunity to do what we're doing. I tell you, I got home today after being at work and getting up and down half the night and all this other stuff. And I had to go get a battery for Lucy and drop some stuff off in the mailbox and get some diesel for the tractor and different things. And I jumped in my big old truck, put all the windows down, beautiful spring day, and was just grinning like an idiot all the way, driving around in my little small town that I now live in these backcountry roads and just listening to the rumble of the diesel and watching the fields go by. And man, it was just such a good feeling to be out here. And it's good for your soul to be out in the woods. It's so much better than the city. You don't even realize what the noise pollution does to you, So just amazing. And then my sister got to see the place. She'd never been here before. It was great to visit with her. She's doing well. But it was fun to show her all the stuff, because we both grew up in the city, and she's still in the city. So bug in my teeth. It was a good day. Looking forward to tomorrow. I have a video dropping on Wednesday that I messed up on, so you'll forgive me. So I had the guys here, the 2 military fellows that are getting out who have been helping around the homestead as they are making their transition into civilian life. So they're currently basically getting paid by the military to still be in the military, but they're leaving, so there's nothing new for them to do. So they show up and go to muster, I guess it is, get blessed by whoever blesses them during muster, and they have the rest of the day to themselves. So they've been coming out and helping. And they were helping me put the fence in, the rest of the fence for the cows. And when I'm filming myself, I try really hard to either not have the screen where I can see it or to not look at it. Because otherwise, instead of the look of me looking at you in the camera, you get the idea of me looking at myself on the screen, which shows the eyes are not engaged. So I try really hard not to do that. The problem is there's a little red light boop, that glows when you are filming. And if you don't see that, it's not filming. So what happened was I filmed this entire intro, right? Except I didn't. And then when I hit the start-stop button to film, it actually started filming instead of stopping filming. So I had like no context for what was happening. And then I did start filming properly. And it just is like me talking about cutting oats and stuff. It doesn't make any sense. So I left the beginning in there and I put some text on the screen explaining that I'm an idiot. But I filmed it like a week ago and there was no way to go back and refilm it like the intro with it. It's just clearly not the same. So you'll forgive me. But that video is coming out on Wednesday. Let's see. This week we're filming the finishing of the kids' pool area. We're filming the changing of the teeth on the Dosco. We're filming the garden area. I think those 3 are it. And those will probably start coming out on Saturday. And whatever little shorts that we, manage to bang out while we're doing stuff. The shorts are a lot of fun because I get to kind of snapshot something that's happening like right in front of me and send it out immediately. It's not a no delay process. So typically whatever you're seeing is like already a week old by the time I get it edited and out. So I'm trying to keep things current. Oh. Joey got one. And actually he just bedded Pip, which is our little old lady bird. She's like 3.5 or 4 years old. I don't even know if she's laying eggs anymore, but I guess that's all Peppercorn's letting him have. Unbelievable. Anyways, my friends, do you guys have any questions for me, whether it's stump grinding or the cows or the homestead or the current situation of geopolitics, the recession we're going to go in, who's going to win in November, anything? Because supper's going to be ready here in a little bit, so I'm going to have to skedaddle. Oh, cool. How to Garden says, I spent the morning on the Indian River Lagoon. Nice day in nature. Yeah, man. It's just good for your soul to be outside, to be in the dirt, or to be in the sunshine. Oh. Not I said, sir, person, I don't care where you look. Oh, I appreciate that. But I feel like it's more engaging if it looks like we're having eye contact. I don't know. Well, thank you. Dante says, I just enjoy your content. I appreciate that. That means a lot to us. You guys really encourage us to keep going. When I was a kid, there was a book called Mike Mulligan and His Steam Shovel. I don't know if you guys have ever read that book, but the long and the short of it is Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel work better when people are watching, right? And the more people that watch, the better they work. And that's the way I feel when I get when I need the motivation to go kind of get up and do something, or to finish a project, or it's dark 30 at night trying to get things done. And I think of you guys kind of being with me when I'm filming. I draw encouragement from that. And so you guys are a huge part of what we're doing here and mean a lot to us and our little homestead. And I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Hey, Bill. Bill says, hey there, flannel fan. We'll watch later. Miss these live streams. Never seem to work out for me. I'm sorry, bud. I don't know what to tell you. We try and schedule them around the same time, but it doesn't always work out. I like to be able to have some form of consistency so people know when they're going to be, so that they can pop on when appropriate. But like I said, we were a little early tonight. I do have a couple hens that are going broody, which is actually a good thing. This is kind of off topic, although it really isn't a topic. We had tried pulling one broody hen out to incubate some eggs for us, and she didn't do such a great job. But there are two who have been sitting on eggs like the whole day today. And I think they've been sitting on eggs before. I just haven't caught them, but they actually haven't left the whole day. So we're thinking we might move one of the chicken tractors that's behind netting currently where the roosters are, pull it out, put them in there with those eggs, and see if they'll incubate for us. we've never successfully incubated eggs with chickens, so we're kind of excited to see if that works out. That'd be really cool. Then I don't have to depend on electricity. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all the content I have for you this evening. No real funny stories or dad jokes. Well, maybe one dad joke. Um, now Dad says I don't mean to be a supervisor looking over your shoulder, but I know what you mean. Yeah, no, not like a supervisor, just like so one of my favorite ways to hang out with people is doing work. Like I'm bad at just sitting down and chatting with somebody at like a kitchen table. I much prefer to be out doing something with people, building something, making something, gardening, playing with animals, feeding, whatever. So I feel like I have that when you guys are out here, because typically Mrs. Flannel and the kids are inside. Um, she comes out and does a lot of work outside, but they have school in the morning and stuff. And I'm a morning person. I like to get up and get busy doing whatever we're going to do that day. So those mornings is typically when I film, and it means a lot to me that you guys are kind of tagging along and giving the encouragement. So all that to say, it's about supper time. So I'm gonna go inside and eat dinner. I'm really excited. We're doing a kind of like a ham roast. It comes from that section of the pig, but there was this big strap of fat that I cut with it. So it's almost shaped like a 6, and then we wrapped the fat around it, and I'm really excited to see what this tastes like. So, my friends, thank you for joining me tonight on our, what we like to call, Flannel Family Forum. If you have any questions about the stump grinder or anything else, please feel free to leave a comment, shoot us an email. We're happy to correspond. We typically get back to people pretty quickly. So, yeah, grow as you grow. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Bye.